All right. Ooh, I didn't check if my audio is okay. 1 second. Mic test. Yeah, seems fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rogue Trader as we continued my modded run where I am doing this purely for the sake of voice acting. Now, I want to be clear about something. My game is heavily modded. My stats are through the roof, not my offensive stats, but my social stats are through the roof. So I will more or less succeed on every single skill check, and that allows me to then see various different outcomes of what can be or what can't be. I have an infinite amount of navigator insight, so I can visit every single system on the map. I can do every single side quest, every single quest, and have a well-rounded experience. And also the fact that I'm also able to voice act lines that are missing. Well, rather, there's voice acting missing in certain sections of the game, where I can fill in for myself for me to get practice with voice acting. So remember, this playthrough is not indicative of a normal playthrough of Rogue Trader. You will not have the experiences I do. You will have to make decisions carefully and choose carefully where you're going to go, how you're going to spend your navigator insight, all these things. I don't have that problem, so just keep in mind that what I'm playing will never be the same as what you're playing, because I am completely overpowered as hell. So, let us begin in earnest with talking with Jay.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen? No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqin Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th daughter of the Lord of Ifrit, a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium. The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago.
Why did you choose to come to the Coronis Expanse?
The Coronis Expanse. A gorgeous name, isn't it? But this backwater wasn't my original destination when I escaped, Shireen. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Coronis Expanse. Freedom that is generously bestowed upon everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off, unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing.
How did you escape from Ifrit?
I convinced my father I personally wished to oversee the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life.
Judging by your implants, you've had quite a few close shaves over the years.
Consider it a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amasacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune.
She drags her thumb across her throat. You're familiar with implants like the one that has replaced Jay's neck. It's merely one part of a massive augmentation replacing the internal organs. A slit throat could not have been the cause for installing such a sophisticated device. Ooh, sus. Thank you for sharing this.
relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
Tell me about your background again.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargain.
Okay, we already did that.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
I've seen the shiny wrapping of the Cronus Expanse. Tell me about its dark side.
The dark side is the real Cronus Expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen?
How do they do things on Footfall?
Dynastiers drink with criminals. Rogue traders strike deals with the Casbalica. And dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content.
Tell me about the Caspalica mission.
An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path and you risk making enemies all over the Cronus Expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum. Every third person on Footfall is a Casbalican. But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Casbalican can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Casbalica is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case...
Jay sighs and throws up her hands. Scum, rotten filth, rats. It is almost as if Jay's masked breathage slips as she started using words that have no place in the vocabulary of someone from the upper strata of the Imperium. Are you one of the Caspalica's robber barons?
What gave you such an outrageous idea? Was it my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Shireen. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and a mastermind of the Casbalica.
How did you become a Caspalican agent?
It's not hard to do on Footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Casbalica to take notice. I quickly settled on Footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty.
Tell me about the coal trade.
It really is simple, Shireen. The Casbalica runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures. Unlike the rogue traders whose sacred warrants make them immune even from the laws of the Exalted One, Casbalican agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody wants to draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Cronus Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman.
Let's change the subject.
Why not? The decision is yours, Shireen.
Tell me about your business with the Cronus Expanse.
My trade means knowing the right people and non-people. Having the right connections and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum in the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how much they charge for any particular curio at the Footfall market. Not even the most cunning Aji will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean.
Do you do business with the enemies of humanity?
It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking. Arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business.
Yes, you do for profit and gain, right?
Emperor be praised. You took the words right out of my mouth.
You could be sitting back and reaping the fruits of your own work. Why have you chosen to embrace the vicissitudes of life aboard a void ship?
You're fun to talk. I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on footfall. Well, I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Shireen. I do not want that.
Jay speaks measuredly, just with the right amount of laziness in her voice, but her performance cannot conceal the slight tremble in her voice. Whatever Jay is afraid of, that is what drove her off Footfall. What about your gang that stayed back at Footfall? Do you trust them?
Do I trust the Trickster twins? By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine.
Mention of her fellow core traders makes Jay's eyes shine a bit brighter than usual.
On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters, and who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre. No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They're not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves.
Tell me about the Xenos of the Coronis Expanse.
Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them, a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos in sight. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels.
Are you really that rich?
Compared to the rabble on Footfall, perhaps. Compared to you... Be it power or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladium. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough.
You have many talents.
Thank you, Shireen. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundi, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction.
Let's talk about something else.
I think we've said all there is to say on this topic.
Tell me tales about your colorful past, Jay, but I feel not all of these stories are true.
Listen, Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Casbalican agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Agi. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
Did you know Theodora von Valencia is my predecessor?
It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions was far too great. Theodora was a mighty ruler, the center of her own universe, and I, a pathetic speck, was nothing next to her. But you were kind to me, Shireen, and in my eyes, that puts you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you.
Argenta seems to have gotten under your skin, am I right?
Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings.
You keep using words I don't understand, like calling me Shireen.
The language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Keronis Expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their sagacious thoughts, and us lowly dabblers, our base passions and desires. Take Aji, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Aji means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take Ashmag. It means fool and little brother, and blind man who stumbles and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate in a battle formation, like we are.
You must forgive my prying, but has the esteemed princess's heart been claimed by some lucky fellow?
Or lucky lady, you mean? My heart has been coveted by proud men with hard eyes, gentle maidens with sensual voices, imperious lords and fierce leaders of void brigands. Only rogue traders have not yet featured among Jai Hedari's intimate friends. Why do you ask, Shireen?
Why are you avoiding answering, Mistress Haydari?
You are prying at the treasures of my soul, my little secrets. How else can I keep them safe from such a powerful robber as the rogue trader? I dare not refuse you.
Bestowing a dazzling smile upon you, Jade demurs with a fluttering nunnish abashment, with hints of a genuine amusement breaking through only rarely. Enjoy being with you. Would like us to spend more time together.
Oh, Shireen. With a few words, you have managed to make my heart flutter like a songbird caught in the snare of a skilled hunter. You enjoy being with me. Perhaps you even find me amusing? Every girl dreams of hearing that she will make a fine toy and a worthy diversion.
Jay injects just enough sarcasm into her voice for you to notice, and just enough playful irony into the enticing curve of her smile. Well, I need to know who I must kill to rid myself of a rival, man or woman.
Oh, you ruthless, cruel creature. Would you really kill a person purely out of jealousy? Or 2 or 3 people? Rogue traders are a fearsome breed. My heart trembles to witness it. How fortunate then that you will not have to spill the blood of any lovesick innocent, for none has any rightful claim on me. They all languish in their passion at a respectful distance, mourning and cursing their cruel fate. If you are not simply amusing yourself by toying with my feelings, then why not give it a try? Go on. Or wait, you haven't yet asked how I feel about being your romantic partner. Ask soon, Shireen.
My dazzling one, can I trust that you hold in your heart at least the smallest drop of regard for me?
I simply cannot reject so ardent an admirer. To insult such sincere passion would be a wicked act in the eyes of the exalted one.
I'm inviting you to dinner over some decent wine. I'm sure we shall find a fertile topic of conversation.
I have no doubt that you are a wonderful conversationalist, Shireen. I will make a note of your invitation and make sure to take you up on it. when I next get hungry. But if the feelings in your soul have become a fire that is burning you up from within, then you may express them by bestowing a gift upon your humble servant.
See you later.
Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Jay laughs and bids you farewell with a wink. Factotum! Factotum Generous Danrock greets you with a cool smile and merest hint of a bow. Gonna have dinner and enjoy? Alright, will do, man. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? I wish to give Jai a present. We shall make the arrangements. Is she not satisfied with stealing from our coffers? I humbly apologize. Certainly, your lordship. All will be taken care of. May I ask what you had in mind for your esteemed companion, given her conspicuous penchant for luxury? The gift needs to be something remarkable indeed. What would you recommend? To go about this with a practical mind, your lordship's domain spans many worlds, both major planets and minuscule colonial outposts, that are nigh insignificant on the scale of one Valencia protectorate, but could still be a great fortune to an ordinary person. Given Mrs. Haydari's choice of trade, she might like the option of retiring to a safe haven whenever the need arises. Her own humble demesne. And a place where she wouldn't need to fear the schemes of her vengeful rivals. What is every smuggler's desire? Her own void ship, which I will gladly give up. An acquaintance of mine, a merchant from Footfall, recently had a stroke of bad luck. Now he is forced to auction off his clipper. An excellent ship, albeit on the smaller side. I believe it is well within my ability to purchase it before any other takers.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen?
Jaya flashes you a welcoming smile, rolling a coin across the knuckles of her augmented fingers.
Is there a sweeter subject in the universe to discuss, Shireen? You have my full attention.
Do you like being with me?
Ask the rose if it likes to receive the kisses of the sun every morning. Ask the sand dune if it likes to feel the caressing and playful touch of the wind. Ask and hear my answer, Shireen.
Go ahead.
Let us both be silent together about... Oh.
Okay. Cool. Righty ho ho. We should head. Actually, can we head back to Footfall? Would that thing have been cleared out by now? I wonder. Oh. Not sure what happened there, but okay. Jai is intently rifling through your possessions and does not notice you, or she pretends not to notice you. Jai, it's a pleasure to see you in my quarters, notwithstanding whatever nefarious purposes have brought you here.
Shireen, there you are. I've been waiting for you.
Whipping around, Jay gives you a dazzling smile and says, bold as brass. Well, what are you doing here?
Sating a hunger greater than any bodily appetite. My curiosity. You see, a person's face, their clothes, their manner is all just a mask. Smoke from the lips of a fire breather designed to hide the truth. But the contents of chests and cupboards, they are the reflection of the soul, in which the wise can glimpse another's heart. I have been wondering what kind of person you truly are.
I think you were trying to rob me.
Shireen, you besmirch my heart with the black ink of bitterest insult. If you do not trust me, search me.
With a mischievous smile, Jay presents her body for your inspection, spreading her arms wide. You want me to search you?
How else am I to prove my innocence, Shireen?
Run your hands over a jacket in search of hidden items. As your hands slide down from Jay's shoulder, she leans into your touch, slightly, and places her hand at your waist, turning the inspection to something closer to an embrace.
Keep going, Shireen. You will strike lucky yet.
Plunge your fingers into a dark mane of hair, where she could be hiding anything. Jay's hair slips between your fingers like silk. It smells of flowers and scorching desert sand. Her eyes drift, closed in pleasure.
I love the gift, Shireen.
Your fingers brush against something warm. You take out a tiny decorative wooden box that usually sits on display in your quarters. You open it to find a note folded inside that says thank you. Jay looks into your eyes, smiling. And what will you give me in return?
Everything the rogue trader desires. Time goes so quickly in the arms of your beloved. It seems the Exalted One has gifted us an eternity of happiness.
Can't really see it, but that's fine. Okay. Which one would you like me to swap me, your lordship? Abela. I simply cannot obey without my loyal seneschal. At once. Abela claps his hands together like a business-like manner. There's another ominous glint in his unaugmented eye. Lord Captain, what a fortunate rarity to find you at leisure. Since you have nothing else to occupy your time, I will give you a lecture on the history of House von Valencius. I will not be doing my duty if I not start from the beginning. Enlighten me. Abelard clears his throat and looks smug. As I was saying, we shall begin with the origins of your noble lineage. Abelard provides you with a daunting amount of information, but you learn quite a lot about your dynastic history, whether you want to or not. Abelard's moustache twitches as he purses his lips in evident satisfaction. That is enough for today, your lordship. Permit me to leave you while you contemplate what you have learned. Access has been granted to the following optional options: information exchange, sending of diplomatic links, trade deals, donations. I've collected the planetary data that may interest you. Respectful no other tech breach takes the slate. The collected data is of interest, significant, complying with the criteria of cooperation. The Cognizance Fleet thanks you for your contribution and guarantees a provision of reciprocal service indulgence in the form of parts and equipment. Reporting. The Kappa thread supply line is ready to continue cooperation with the Omvalence Dynasty. Sphere of planetary reconnaissance. We take a trade deal. Anything new, perhaps? Technically, I can wear this. Because I am from a fortress world. Okay.
Venture forth.
The following of Utility Truth 3 is whistling some jaunty tune. So, is the quarantine zone safe now? Well, that depends. We figure everyone who could have died is dead and rotting. And disease and parasites don't usually live in corpses. We threw a few expendables in the quarantine zone, but we can say for sure that it was that killed them in the end, not the disease.
Another battle demands our attention. Cross them! Here we go. Hold on.
I'll kill all these people in one shot.
They won't expect this. That's how it's done. Out of my way.
refuse. Each strike is a prayer. On in, maggots. Let's get to it.
Let's make it. Let's get to it.
Whisper and be heard.
Always striving for greatness. Perfect. Now that's interesting. Stay sharp.
You hear the sound of quiet, you hear the sound of falling objects from behind the thick sheet of metal. Followed by angry hissing. Quiet! I said quiet before someone finds us. Please don't be afraid. I mean you no harm. Please, have mercy, don't kill us. We're not infected, I swear. It's them that to blame, it's them. Who are they? Who's to blame? We'll tell you everything, please. Just spare our lives. We know where the disease came from. We do. We know. Another coughing fit erupts from the woman's words. It's them, those stat mutants. They have a hideout somewhere under our block. We used to see them skulking in the shadows all the time. The families who died first, they had dealings with them. Traded something and they caught some mutant blight. I know they did. Those mutants are very tough. They're always sick with something, but they don't die of it. But ordinary people definitely do. We are lucky though. We're alive. We're getting by. The disease could not claim us. I will verify your claim about the mutants. We're not lying. Look for the entrance. It has to be close by.
Nothing can catch me off guard. Forge ahead. Never linger.
I don't. Oh, this place. Okay. This I remember.
Challenging me was a mistake.
You asked for it.
Everybody's in position.
Look out.
Unpleasant. As said, so done. Let's seize the moment.
Hear the sound of it's fine. You won't like all the mutants. They have been exterminated and won't infect anyone else. Praise the Emperor. You tell them, right? Right? The crew 3 or whatever they're called, please tell them. Maybe they won't kill us. Those the D's was back in mutants. They have been exterminated. A few survivors remain within the perimeter, but they pose no threat. Of course, Your Lordship. No threat whatsoever, he nods enthusiastically. Mutants, is it? What do you think about mutants? You keep burning them and they just keep popping up. Well, thank you kindly for the help and the details. Footfall won't forget it. Me and the lads will drop by the lair and clean up and make sure no disease left. I guess we're done.
See this through. Venture forth.
Okay. Unknown ship hails you as soon as you are in detection range. The ship's the Scarlet Pursuer, helmed by Captain Demir Shani. As Footfall listed as its home port. The message hints transparency and the connection with the Caspelica mission. Welcome us adds that the captain has a proposal for you. Listen to the proposal. The ship lets you know that they will readily award you for any information about the burning worlds at the Coronis expense. Information we have. With effusive gratitude, the ship sent our shuttle with a promised reward. Soul traps and the Caspelica mission. We're looking for burning worlds. The reply is courteous as it's vague. The captain chooses a scholarly curiosity in understudy to this type of world. Read the messages. The Magos Pascal expresses a keen interest in burning worlds and asks the Lord Captain to take the issue into consideration. J. Haydari immediately declares that the Captain Shani should never dash about the void out of scholarly curiosity, but only for suitably high return. In that case, the Lord Captain too might want to look into these burning worlds. Seneschal Viserion makes no comment regarding the Caspelica message, but is amazed that for once the esteemed Magos and Mrs. Hidari are in passionate agreement on something. I don't know, you have no current information on burning worlds, but are willing to sell you any may obtain in the future. You see the Scarlet Pursuer's projected itinerary, information on a system in which you can find it later. Cam looks forward to meeting you again and acquiring information on burning worlds should you possess it. Rotary has been got up by a high-ranking administrative official who previously helped with the reclaiming a relic of Saint Cognatius from House Chorda. Enjoy the generous bribes that would like some more in exchange for the righteous requested. He promises that an error will creep in the administrator's calculations so that the provisions from the agri-world of Mercus Alpha should Dragonis instead of the Navy's orbital forces of Dragonis 2. Yeah. Also, Hardco, whom the Lord Captain tasked with espionage, has been found an attractive opportunity. Two factoriums operate on the scantily developed world of Vergis 2, one serving House Chorda and the other House Winterscale. Despite the two rotators being enemies and the heads of their respective factoriums have made a truce over jointly governing the unsophisticated but headstrong natives, Rodko has worked his way into both leaders' trust and is confident that he can use a series of provocations to spark a war between the erstwhile allies. That would allow the agents of House Marmelides to seize control of the world's resources and promise great wealth for what they hold. Sure, fuck it. A destroyed ship, you say? Oh, it's this thing.
Such a peaceful scene. The likes of which I haven't seen in a long time. No bright flashes, no riot of colors. Just pure white canvas.
Oh, nothing more to say, okay. Two skeletons are lying in strange positions, as if one was either carrying or hugging the other and did not let go even in death. The gear is badly damaged and decayed. Carefully inspect the skeletons and their gear. There are three things worthy of note. Fragments of some sort of devices that both skeletons carried on their belts, some shiny trinkets in the remains of the carried skeleton's bag, and a portable cogitator in the other bag. Down the broken device. User Rugged suggests that this was a rudimentary radar jammer, an item commonly utilized by pirates in the Cronus Expanse. Examine the trinkets. Trinkets are clearly of a Xenos origin. They are miscellaneous time-worn items but have no particular value. One can assume that they are petty trophies looted from several corpses. Try to extract data from the cogitator. Because he has been exposed to elements for decades or even centuries, it is a small miracle that you're able to extract a fragment of a vox recording. Apparently there are lost communications. Scout 1. We're rich. Chaos take me rich. Look out. Fly. For crying out loud, spit it out. What have you found? Scout 1. Rich. Screw footfall. The expanse can go to the orcs. We're out of here. Calixtus, here we come. Yeah? Because with our record, Calixtus is definitely the place to go. What makes you think life's better there anyway? I want a house on some planet, a mansion with a lion statue at the entrance. It'll have a servitor with one job, dusting my lion statue. Fly, you idiot. You're still on a dangerous planet. Quit sending me your hollering. Get back here and just tell me what you found already. Fly? Fly, you coming? I'm coming for you, you dumbass. You're not responding just to mess with me, you're dead meat.
Although the rites of the blood-spun web seem radical to me, I am glad to have such a fervent and devout warrior of the Emperor at our side.
I sense a peculiar resemblance between us. We were both raised by our houses, if you will. Raised for a glorious purpose.
Marching ahead. Stay sharp. Keep your senses keen. Forward.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Momentum.
A tactically sound approach.
Really?
As the Emperor commands, I act.
High momentum.
Victory is imminent.
I cannot serve you in this way. It brings me no pleasure.
Onward to victory. My actions speak louder than words.
There's a sure everyone is being lost. Vaguely resembles the intent of the office, as basically constructed in a few other devices. It seems some sort of structure was very if I remember the investment structure, along with the design and standard into column of other data, your target ranking, the half dozen devices is very large. They have one thing in common. The sticks of the design which basically singles to give space. Most causing being request for assistance and stress crystals. So, someone that will visit the base for explanation of various races. Know that someone with a man to the welcome committee? Clever. I saw certain legends of my year in the Navy. True, from the war zone, you higher it. You don't just draw off after the loneliness of the but I think things like this, which were the most likely scenario. Mr. Shipshire had to make an emergency landing. Looks like plenty of for it. The truth says that this is going to happen. A gentleman warrior and body of humans and civilians. Who's enemy everyone? Who's enemy to everyone and everything? We have a common enemy, an eternal enemy. One that devours all life, all evidence. And all they see is souls in the ground and elsewhere. So all my life, I very one thing. This tries to be a malevolent plan and sense of chaos. Like that man is more open and one whose blood fills the instrument and best of self-symbols. That's good. Good spots were they, but I'm not convinced. Something strange about the message. Highly suspicious. First, I think I got the attitude. Much better than the defense sense. Its function is rather simple. Program is designed and acting with the consider once every 5 years and other such transfers to space. Oh, shut up. Use the charges carefully. Without a doubt, the structure will be destroyed with expert precision along with the underground part.
Now that was easy. Let's seize the moment.
always striving for greatness.
That's obviously a Drakari, right?
Onward to victory.
Your Lordship, I humbly ask that you grace me with an audience. I simply must inform you of a series of outrageous breaches of discipline that threaten to dissipate Dynasty's coffers. Alright, before we do any of this, I'm gonna go for a cigarette. We'll be right back. Alright, let's get back to it. Your Lordship, I must report systematic and flagrant attacks of Dynasty's coffers perpetrated by your companion, Miss Haydari. The Emperor has been witness the worst rumors of her thieving who have proved to be significant understatement of the reality. What crimes has she committed against the Treasury? She's extorting bribes and oblations. Gifts, favors, for herself in particular. She's exploiting rumors of a connection between herself and your Lordship to unscrupulously gather bribes and all, and sundry hinting at how displeased your Lordship will be to hear if anyone is uncooperative. I myself have found myself the victim of her attacks with particular frequency due to my position. How much has the chicanery cost us? Surprised by the question, Danrock facilitates before saying, on a protracted-wide scale, the astronomical sum she has extorted from us seems negligible and not worthy of notice. Nevertheless, I cannot help but be outraged by her blatant exploitation of your goodwill. Bring the embezzler to me. You wish to see me, Cherie? She bestows a dazzling smile upon you and look of pure contempt on Danrock. The High Factotum is worried that you are exploiting your privileged position. The High Factotum should try to worry less. It's not good for the slanderous little heart that pumps blood around his ungrateful carcass. But I'm surprised he was not worried before when he showered me with generous gifts the moment I arrived on board. Of course, I will not accuse him of trying to buy my favor. The Factotum's face changes color to match his jacket, whose collar suddenly appears to be digging into his flabby throat. However, the source of these blessings dried upon as soon as he learned of our connection, Cherie. I considered it profoundly wrong that our affection should have such an unhappy effect on my material well-being. Therefore, I took it upon myself to remind the High Factotum of his previous largesse. I have been informed that you are soliciting bribes. Bribes? What the Ashmak besmirched their worm-eaten lips with such scurrilous lie? Actually, don't tell me. I don't even want to hear their blackened name. I have never demanded bribes from any of your vassals. But I have willingly accepted gifts they have offered. Is that a crime? Mrs. Haydari is quibbling over semantics. She may not demand anything directly, but she drops heavy hints. Perhaps this isn't about the hints, but the habits of the rotten venal soul accustomed to doling out bribes left and right by draining the dynasty treasury. I'm curious to know, Danrock. How much of the benevolence of fortune have you squandered by handing out bribes to people who did not ask for them? Why do you need such gifts? Do you not receive enough working with me? I am a businesswoman, Cherie, and I extract profit from everything. It's in my nature. When a desert lion catches the scent of blood, he will eat even if his belly is full. For who knows when the next feast will come? And besides, what girl doesn't like receiving gifts? Jay lowers her abashed face to the floor. Generous, henceforth you will furnish Jay with whatever she desires. Is that clear? High Factotum lets out an incoherent burble, sweeps into a deep bow, and hastily beats a retreat. With a vicious smile, Jai remarks at his wake, "Who would ever trust a word of a man who doused himself in perfume to cover up his body odor? Everyone knows that's a sure sign of a soul prone to deceit." Okay, Jay, as you were. Before you is a burning world, an inhospitable place at the mercy of perpetual inferno due to its suffocating atmosphere and close proximity to the system's star. The firestorms on its surface never cease. What could the Kaspalaka be looking for in such a place? Utilize the full abilities of the August to locate something unusual on the planet. After many long hours spent analyzing the auger data, the tech priest noticed something unusual. A number of constructions of artificial origin can be detected under the planet's surface. They are too vast and peculiar to ever been created by humans, but the geometric shapes and other properties clearly indicate they were put together by sentient beings of some kind. Unfortunately, there are traces of human activity next to the mysterious construction. It looks like somebody found a way to land on the planet and set up an archaeological dig. These ancient monuments have been stripped of anything of value of interest, but other burning worlds may yield new discoveries. Oh? The fuck? A pungent animal scent hits your nose. A huge predator materializing out of nowhere in the middle of your chambers studies you with its unblinking gaze. There's a good pet. The beast tentatively flexes its tail. Sit there, Sirocco, and be a big... Oh! Have you two already met, Shireen? What's going on? I'm giving you a gift, Shireen. Isn't it obvious? Should I put a ribbon around there? General hearts do not hide their feelings, but shower their nearest and dearest with gifts. I won't deny it. Choosing a gift worthy of a rogue trader wasn't easy, but I tried my best. Do you like her? Is she house-trained at all? She is a fast learner, Jay says. Jay is suddenly cagey. I've already taught her the command, don't eat. Why would you give me a Lazarax? Can you think of a better pet for a rogue trader? Lazaraxes are fearsome, strong, and proud creatures just like you. You will strike into all the hearts of your guests when they see you have a tamed so wild and dangerous a creature. And if anyone ever misbehaves, you can always feed them to the Lazarax. And it will be most impressive, admit it. It is a magnificent accessory. Where did you get her? I had hunters to catch her. I had hunters to catch me a suitable beast the jungles on Janus. She cost me 7 times what she weighs, but Exalted One does not send us friends who they be stingy with our affections, does he? What is her name? I like the name Sirocco. It's the name of a deadly wind that originates on the hottest of deserts of Efreet. But you are her owner, so you should name her. Yeah, Revora. That sounds awesome. Lazaraxes are dangerous, they hardly sleep, and they have a nasty temper. That reminds me of someone. I'll call her Revora. Jay laughs and nods. I hope our Master Helmet doesn't take it the wrong way. Thank you for the gift. I knew you would approve, Shireen. Jay clasps her hands so loudly that the animal whips around the noise with a predatory interest. I think she'll be shown off to her best advantage next to your throne. Looks a lot like Gul'dan's skull from World of Warcraft. Upon your approach, Scarlet Pursuer sends out a hearty greeting. Captain Demir Shani wishes good health upon you and your entire dynasty and asks if you might have any up-to-date information on Burning Worlds. Yeah, the information we have. The official gratitude, the ship sends out a shuttle with the promised reward.
Fire at will! Direct our course. Initiate the barrage! Macro cannons falling!
Turn to ashes.
All clear. Congratulations, Lord Captain.
A violent battle is unfolding before the Rogue Trader's eyes. Patrol ships from the Chorda fleet are tearing apart two small Dari vessels. Once they are finished with them, the Void ships give chase after the third, already damaged vessel, clearly with the intention of destroying it as well. Seeing the last ship's impending death, Uriel calls to the Lord Captain, her voice trembling only slightly. Only the Rogue Trader's intervention can save her kin from a massacre. The message is inside the Chorda's fleet, ordering them to stop the battle. The Voxmaster relays the Lord Captain's demand to stop the battle as soon as and soon returns a reply. According to the Chorda ships, the group of Xenos are malicious criminals. They are guilty of raiding the system's planets, robbing merchant vessels, and Satia's Chorda's void ships are intent on performing their duty before the Emperor and exterminating the Xenos. Irlit sullenly watches the unfolding chase through the stained glass windows of the captain's bridge. She grimly concedes that no crime would go unpunished. Except her kin were flying transport ships. It would have been impossible for them to rob a ship, let alone launch a planetary raid. Vessels such as theirs simply lack the firepower to do so. The monkey are lying. Analyze the attacked Xenoship. Despite the presence of some weaponry, the Xenoship is more likely meant for transporting cargo or the Xenos themselves rather than direct combat. Demand that orders warship cease fire immediately and retreat. Unwilling to engage in open battle against the flagship of a foreign dynasty, the patrol reluctantly leaves its prey and retreats to the edge of the system. Meanwhile, the wounded Xenoship is rapidly distancing itself from the recent battlefield, attempting to hide in the shadow of the nearest world. Every attempt to contact is met with frustration, and the Voxmaster reports that the vessel is in deplorable condition. Who knows how much more the Xena technology can endure before the irreparable happens. The Eldari are too scared and resentful of Monkey for the recent deaths of their kin to answer his incoming hails. Despite this, Irlit is certain that she can convince them to cooperate with the Elantak if she's allowed to speak with them. It appeals to her kin's wisdom, but the words of the outcast cannot make them trust Monkey. The pain of loss fills Eldari's heart, so recently the humans destroyed 2 vessels of the children of Vesurian, and now they offer aid. Worse, they offer aid through the mouth of their captive sister. No, the Eldari will not fall for this trick. Trying to outpace the pursuit of the next Monkey vessel, the Eldari overload their void ship's drives. One of the damaged engines is unable to bear the strain before the eyes of 100 officers. The Xenoship flashes a fiery blue light through the stained-glass windows as thousands of tiny shards disperse across the system. The bridge officers openly rejoice, offering prayers to the Emperor. Today, the Expanse is cleansed of more filth, enemies of humanity. What is this if not his providence? Only a thin figure of the Eldari stands motionless against the backdrop of the intricate stained-glass windows, mourning the fallen in solemn silence. Once the pain in Irlet's soul is numbed, she turns to the Lord Captain and nods, a short gesture of gratitude for their attempt to save those who could hardly be saved. One second, guys. Sorry about that. A mirror. This planet is devoid of even the most primitive forms of life. However, the crew has made quite a strange discovery. A mirror lying right at the center of a huge crater. A completely ordinary mirror in frame, by all appearances, in pristine condition. Destroyed immediately. The crew blasts the crater, raising a cloud of dust that blocks the auger array, confirming the mirror's destruction is impossible for the time being. But could not have survived such a powerful explosion. Definitely not. That was a weird thing that happened there. The visitor member of the auger crew has detected a small Xenos vessel drifting through the void. The ship is underpowered and shows no signs of being crewed. And our boarding signal. The squad boarded the vessel without issue. Corrosion had laid waste to the ship's systems, which led to the death of the entire crew. The interior is full of Eldari corpses. No weapons were found on board, and the dead Xenos, judging by their clothing, were not part of any warrior caste, merely the crew of the now defunct ship. Xenos Irlit claims to have recognized symbols of the dead Eldari's clothes. They were civilian refugees from the craft world Truderak. These are Drakari patterns.
Helmsman, follow my command.
Lord Captain, Drukhari ships are patrolled in the system. The likelihood of slipping past their patrols unnoticed is close to 0. Okay.
I can see crimson lights in the void.
A quick save here. Last time I did this quest, the game broke.
Just heading. Deployed!
The Ogre crew picks up a heavily damaged Xenos void ship among the countless rock masses of the asteroid belt. An Andali vessel, beyond a doubt. According to the Von Valencia's archives, about 100 standard years ago, the Imperial Navy set up a barrier in the system against pirates and the enemies of humanity. Countless primed mines are still scattered along the wreckage. The Boxmaster manages to tune the ship's systems to unconventional frequency. The bridge suddenly fills with chime-like Xenos voices. Drawn out and mournful, they sing in an unknown tongue, but every officer on the bridge can sense that this is a dirge. Answering the call, Yurla jumps to the cogitators, starting the officers of the bridge with a sudden jolt. In the hopes of understanding the monkey technology and figuring out how to help her kin, the Eldari runs in circles around the blinking vidscreens, but the mysteries of the machine god elude the Xenos. Then she turns to the Lord Captain, powerless. Yurla is asking Elentak to help her kin who have found themselves in a trap sprung by fate. The Eldari are worn out and weak. Their song is a cry of despair, and that crying is fading. Logistics officers, led by the Master Helmsman Ravor, are ordered to plot a course for the rescue shuttle from the Dynasty's flagship to the Xenos and back. Should we rotate orders as official officer to establish communication with the Eldari vessel? Now all the crew can do is hope is that the calculations are correct and the veteran officer's experience has not let them down. Lord Captain orders the servants of the machine cult to prepare a plan for clearing the minefield without harming the Xenos ship. Several hours pass, the ship's clock, the servants of the Almessiah present a plan for the neutralization of the ancient mines. But the calculation is correct. The tech priests warn that in solving this kind of problem it's impossible to account for every possibility. There are too many unknowns in so little time. The Lord Captain inquires out the state of the vessel. The Eldari vessel's hull and engines have presumably been damaged in a collision with a small celestial body. However, it is impossible to prove or disprove this hypothesis at a distance. Xenos vessels differ too much from those of the Imperium. Nero Valencia sends a shuttle with an experienced pilot and the scouts in hopes that the smaller vessel can bypass the ancient mines. Shuttle enters the asteroid field. The pilot proceeds with caution, confidently avoiding the chunks of rock in nearly imperceptible mines. However, when the shuttle reaches the Xenoship, the rescue team's report catches the bridge crew off guard. The vessel's starboard has been breached by the macro weapons of an unknown Imperial void ship. There are no survivors. Shielding her eyes, Yurla closes them and clutches the spirit stone at her breast. Coming to, the Eldari does not speak for a time. With notes of sadness in her voice, carefully picking her words, she concedes that the Elentak did all they could to save her kin. And yet it is the monkey responsible for the loss of the Eldari's void ship. Saddened by the pain and the hatred that humans have wrought upon her kind, Yurla quietly leaves the bridge. Sometimes it's simply impossible to outrun fate. After some time, Yurla comes to Lord Captain, haggard but still holding on to hope. She says that she came aboard the monkey vessel and set off into the darkness in hopes of finding her kin, but found only corpses slaughtered by humanity's hatred. And though she and the Lord Captain were not always in agreement, the Elentak is still tried to lend a helping hand. In gratitude, as she promised, she shares the coordinates of her kin's cache. Your Lordship, there are alarming reports coming from Janus. A number of strange mutations have been spotted among the population in remote agri-complexes. Aside from the obvious disfigurement and the subsequent estrangement, these mutants, called wretches by the rest of the colonists, are coming together to practice a primitive form of religion involving ritual worship of the land. Where they display no disobedience or hostility, their very existence is concerning. Janus nobility humbly awaits your decision. What do we know about these wretches? Their mutations cause a loss of skin pigment and shedding of hair. Some have started developing translucent third eyes similar to that of reptiles. Others have succumbed to progressive atrophy of the larynx, causing the loss of human speech. At the same time, their tendons become denser and more elastic, providing increased endurance and load resistance. The wretches are commonly ostracized due to their grotesque appearance. There haven't been too many cases of mob justice yet, but they will become commonplace after the mutations' deformities become more obvious. The wretches tend to form groups with similarly afflicted people. Their average level of intellect is low. They all belong to the labor caste and communicate among themselves using a primitive vernacular of their own invention. As for their barbaric religion, they are deifying both soil and Janus itself. To them, their work in the agri-complexes is a form of worship, which has led to a positive impact on productivity. What do my advisors have to say? I saw your agent's picture recordings and the signs of monkey leave behind their idols, and I cannot deny a connection. Though a pathetic and extremely abstract one to the symbols of my people, their guttural prayers echo the sounds of the children of Asurian's speech. The probability of them having come into close contact with our civilization is non-existent, yet they are somehow connected. Protect these people, resettle them to a distant abodes where they will not be harmed for their peculiarities, and keep watch. Someday the truth may be revealed. The blessed sanction of the Imperium does not grace these mutants, but nor does they declare their existence anathema. We sentence them without further study. There are mutants whose existence is fully sanctioned, such as ogrins, rattlings, pariahs, pelagers, felons, or trots. Our library had the treatise on the janitor's craft. I could part some of that knowledge to your servants. Purely theoretical, of course. This mutation has not been properly studied and is missing from the catalogue. I am not registering a basis for delaying the commencement of immediate genetic purification. I recommend launching a thorough investigation genetic makeup of this forbidden strain. We settle into separate agri-complexes where they will travel each other apart. We will study them. I feel these monkeys have been touched by something wondrous. Mutants will resettle to a distant agri-complexes where their unorthodox appearance will not put them in danger of being massacred by the serfs. Mutants went under surveillance. One of the watchmen spotted a mysterious relic in the hands of a group of wretches and turned out to be an item of Xeno origin. It is unlikely the mutants understood the nature of the object they worshipped. That's not bad. Pretty good too. This is also pretty damn good actually. The Dark Sages? Or damages Xenos? Yeah, we'll go with this. An unidentified object has been located. Unidentified object has been located in the system. The artifact reacts to our transmissions by releasing unknown radiation, most likely of Xeno origin. The cogs are reporting. If you want to get a closer look, we need to close the distance between the vessel and the object. Region Scenaris Maleficum. Material Internal Void Ship Communications Log. Bridge, we have an unknown object dead ahead, not an asteroid, clearly artificial in nature, but it's larger than Footfall Station. Copy that. Report relayed to officer on duty and pilots. Expect visual soon. We have visual. What the? Look out, this is Vox Master. I'm added the pilots, senior officers, and the Lord Captain to the shuttle. His Lordship wishes to assume personal command. Lord Captain, we have requested intel on the object from the Augur's array module, awaiting their response. Lord Captain is on the line. No need to engage the Augurs. I know what it is. It's called a webway gate. Van Calox here. What we see is before this is a webway gate, an artifact that the Xenos used to get to their sorcerous realm, so to speak. It allows Eldari to get around the sector quickly and serves as a hideout for their most unpleasant tribe, the Drukhari, whom we have already met. Relay here. This gate is next to the one is on the Lilithan. The children of the Surian wanders the void through such constructs erected in ancient times. Any ship that passes through such a portal will enter a tangle of paths unfathomable to none but my kin. Is there an Augur report? According to available data, the object consists of an unknown material foreign to the Imperium. We are registering an unknown class of energy profile. The agencies are at a loss about how this technology works exactly, but they did specify that the ergonometry suggests that the system is holding active charge. The object appears to be ready to do whatever it's designed to do. What does senior officers take on this? Okay. Can we deactivate this object somehow? Requested response from the Engineerium. Apologies, Lord Captain. The tech priests have refused to even consider such possibility. It would be in a violation of the Omniscience tenets and an extremely dangerous undertaking. Perhaps a certain companion of yours could. Even if I knew the secret of this gate, I would never surrender to the monkey. The webway is our kin's sacred refuge and a deadly trap with those such as you, Elantark. Enough mysteries. We're changing course and moving out. Yes, Lord Captain. At first, it looked like a snowy and desolate planet was devoid of surprises. But the yellow and orange flickering of the lumens and the notifications from the Augur system informed the officers that there was a small colony that survived in spite of the harsh climatic conditions. All attempts to hail the colony have failed. There was a scouting party. As well as report the dismal condition of the settlement and its inhabitants. Their skin is translucent and pale, their icy blue eyes see practically no color, their language is rough and guttural, and their stomachs cannot tolerate anything except a stew made from the local roots and mosses. And yet, they are subjects of the Imperium, still loyal to the Emperor. They've been taken to your people for his emissaries. What happened to this world? Local elders woefully reminisced about the times long gone. Most of them were still sheltered in their mothers' wombs when the snow first settled on the verdant fields. Hail ruined the crops, and the frost hardened the soil. Plants and large beasts that could not sustain themselves were the first to go. They were soon followed by birds and other small animals. Most people in large cities perished, unable to warm themselves and their family. They say the governor and his entourage left the world in the first days of winter, taking all provisions and fuel with them. No one responded to the pleas from this dying world. The stars remained deaf to the messages transmitted by the planet's Vox stations. These abandoned subjects of the Imperium still managed to save the machines and other valuables, but they were little use without a supply of promethium. And yet, those who survived eventually adapted to the tribulations of the God Emperors bestowed upon them. The unfortunate people are gift of promethium and send tech priests to perform the rites of generator maintenance. At the moment the first generator belched with a furious roar and black ash started falling from the sky instead of snow, the locals laughed and danced, trying to warm their limbs after decades of cold. They called down blessings upon their unseen savior, a rogue trader from the Von Valancius dynasty, and thanked the god Emperor for the fortuitous encounter. The explorers' departure was accompanied by shouts of grateful approval, not to mention their many parting gifts. Plasteel seems to be like in solid supply around. Oh, right. The airlock is sealed. This isn't right. You seem to remember never activating the seal on your way through. I know I'm about to say the obvious, but I'll say it anyway. There's something off about this. Something very off. Open the airlock. Control panels being uncooperative, you know enough about the machine spirit behavior to conclude it's not a malice that is making them refuse to comply, but a higher priority order they are executing. White noise or static is all you hear in response. Either the Voxmaster cannot reply or she's brazenly ignoring you. Or comms are being jammed. None of these possibilities bode well. Try to force the airlock open. The plasteel, durable enough to withstand the pressure of interplanetary void, absorbs your hits with supreme indifference. It will take more than that to break through.
Let's see this through.
I have not interacted with your kind before, Vil Irliet. Now, I have the chance to observe the enemy up close, to study your weaknesses. I welcome this chance.
Alas, you are not the first monkey I have encountered, and I can speak from experience longer than your years. You are no different from the rest.
Stay sharp. marching ahead.
Onto the Voxcaster, the hooded man mutters monotonously but emphatically into the machine as he rocks back and forth, slightly to and fro. In the light of the distant stars, our Emperor progenitor wanders warily. With thoughts and visions to us, he sends us his particles of his light. Though his body suffers, his mind lingers on us. Let us therefore nourish him with light of our souls, with our prayers, with our faith. Argento frowns. The faithful worship of the Emperor under a great many names and after a great many fashions, and yet I do not like this prayer. Observe silently. The man falls abruptly silent after those sits in your presence, and he says, "And here come the afflicted." With a pale hand, he throws back his hood. You see only an ugly face, with a flat, wide nose, disproportionately large brow ridges, irisless eyes with enormous pupils, wide toad-like mouth, and a skin that transitions to purple scales at the cheekbones. Standing before you is an abominable subhuman, a mutant. Welcome to the abode of the Anarishas. 3 sorrowful phalanges point the way to the Emperor progenitor. I am glad you have chosen ours. Look closer at the misshapen man. This being's nature has strayed too far from mankind's blessed genome. The creed sees no humanity in deviations like this, and so it commands that such creatures be exterminated without mercy. I understand this to be a trap, am I correct? Indeed, afflicted one, you have nowhere to run. Mutant shrieks, grinning. May the grace of the progenitor be upon you. His words are piercing, becoming a shrill echo of 100 voices? Minds? Growing even louder, it torments your mind, and before you know it, it reaches for your weapon.
The unworthy will be destroyed!
You hear a clanging echo growing louder in empty modules, like hundreds of clawed limbs striking bulkheads and grabbing onto bars. Whoever is advancing upon you, there are a lot of them. You ought to run for your life before they trap you in this crammed Vox cabin. Argento's expression brightens. Countless foes at a cumbersome position. Oh, Emperor, I thank thee for giving us another chance to taste the sweetness of battle and the solemn joy of courageous deeds. Sister, I fear we are about to partake of something quite different. Or more likely, someone's trying to partake of us. Make a dash for the Voxcaster to try to contact the ship. The Vox spits out a torrent of static, through which you nonetheless manage to catch fragments of words spoken by a voice not unlike that of your Voxmaster. One Valance command lock. The signal is lost before you manage to say anything.
This tedium is beneath me.
I'll do it.
As the Emperor commands.
At your beck and call.
High momentum.
I am your blade and shield. Though I gave thee my blood and my pain, thou hast ordained that I shall live.
Follow my lead.
Poised for action.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury! This is why I was chosen!
Onward to victory.
Fucking gene stealers, man. A small plant gently wrapped in the amber forest greets you with ruby-colored dawn. Basil von dem Clerch, the local governor, gives a rogue trader a warm welcome. After several glasses of Desamine, the sweltering ruler asks if Nero von Valencia would like to keep company in the upcoming hunt. Okay. After several hours of riding the local peculiar animals, you make camp in the middle of the Golden Forest. Basil von dem Clerch points at the sky. A flat disk rises over the horizon, constantly morphing its color and shape. The forest grows silent and empty. You can no longer hear the singing of birds or even the rustle of wind. The governor nods with satisfaction, and a few shapes step into the clearing. Their bodies are twisted by an unknown phenomenon, and you watch the freaks with astonishment as they begin to dance to the throaty cackling of their brethren, turning the bony growths and pulsating flesh of their scaly hand towards the unnatural thing in the sky. Ask the governor what's going on. The governor smiles coyly. You're about to see with your own eyes what is happening here. Okay. The hypnotic dance seemed to continue forever. The unfortunate creatures howled, whined, and convulsed, unable to tear their bleeding eyes from the celestial body. When the Pavonine disk outshone even the light of the local star, the physical shells of the things that used to be men burst, releasing beasts onto the plane that not even the most fluent and capable pens could describe. Basil von dem Clerch excitedly explains that the creatures you saw are the children of the great king of distortion. It is he who is a true god appeared to these fertile grounds. Once every cycle, his chariot shines its light upon the world and bestows transformations upon his most ardent followers. The rogue trader may become one of his heralds. See the governor on the spot. The governor's head separates from his neck with a distinctive squelch. Black and brown blood seeps into the soil beneath his corpulent body and is immediately transformed into a writhing tangle of worms that burrow deep into the ground with unnatural speed. Return to the ship, pondering what to do with the world, and more importantly, what to do with the King of Distortion. Order the crew chart a course to the normally known as the King of Distortion. Senior officers observe suspicious activity emanating from the twisted celestial body at the heart of the system. The chaplain advises you to get ready for a potential encounter with the spawn of the archenemy. So it may be wise to reconsider unless you have holy relics, sacred wars, or blessed effigies of the Emperor. Aflame with a plethora of colors and distorted celestial disk trembled slightly beyond the endless window of the captain's bridge as a rogue trader's ship approaches its center. An otherworldly voice, cold and enveloping, enters your mind. What could this puny wretch possibly offer a king? Officers of the desk bridge look around perplexed. Their eyes are full of terror and confusion. Many clutch their hands and utter long howls of pain, and some they empty their stomachs, but most pale and exhausted though that they have joined the Lord Captain resisting the entity's influence. Ask who you are talking to. An endless flow of images fills your consciousness. You see the horrifying scenes of millions of tortured souls. Their screams rend your mind. Their pain pierces you with 1,000 red-hot needles. King, ruler, the one who is obeyed. That's all you can make sense of, although you see much more. Come on, entity, release the minds of the Amber Worlders from its grip. The king's mocking laughter rings in your ears, and a deep red trickle runs down slowly from your nose and over your lips, leaving an aftertaste of salt and metal. Order a ship-wide 1,000-voice prayer service over holy relics for the protection of the Amber World, the Imperium, and your own souls. Deafening gongs strikes as are heard across hundreds of decks. Your eyes are misted with red and your gums bleed as your subjects fall to their knees at once. In a shared prayer to the God Emperor, holy relics from the ship's temples melt in the ardor of your speech. The entity screams and writhes at your brain, struggling to break out. Many drop dead during the first minutes of the prayer, unable to resist the corruption. However, others immediately take their place, unfazed by the sight of their fellows turning to dust in seconds. Then a nauseating stench engulfs the ship's decks with like a wave, causing people to retch forth their innards. Finally, every deck is plunged into darkness. Ghosts of the past walk among the living, stealing breath from those weak of spirit. And still their prayer is not extinguished. It's hard to tell if the prayer service lasted several hours or several days. At some point you feel your very essence overflow with heat and power. And then, the intruding will falters. The distorted disc vanishes from the void ship's augers, as if it had never been there, and at long last everything is quiet. As everyone slowly recovers from what happened, reports begin to come in from the captain's bridge. You've lost a third of your crew in the unequal fight, and the fortunate survivors are going to take quite some time to come around. All hail the rogue trader. Fucking bitch. Cleanse the world of heresy. Crimson flame devours the golden woods, black smoke covers the sky as far as the eye can see. Amberworld dies at your feet, but you regret it not. There's no place when dealing with the encroachments of the archenemy on the holy lands of the Imperium of Man. Lord Captain, the Ogre crew have spotted the fleet ahead. They're trying to shot the enemy flagship matches out of the Heartless. The escort ships are sticking to it like flies to grok. Anyway, what are your orders? Give a tactical report of the enemy. The enemy frigate is heavily armored and boasts a fighter launch bay, for which we for sure won't be empty. As long as the escorts are around to defend it, trying to board the vessel would be a death sentence. My advice is to take them out first, then attack the Heartless itself. Once the frigate is damaged, we can then close in and board it. Tell Vigorous to pass me through to the captain of the Heartless. A silken, almost whispering voice fills the air. Ah, the illustrious rogue trader has arrived at last. Let me guess, you will now graciously offer me one chance to surrender? Solomon, read this criminal's verdict. Captain Surgona, your frozen void remains will serve as a message for anyone who thinks they can lay their hands upon the tide and escape justice. In the name of the Lex Imperialis, prepare for execution, heretic. You can wave your legs around in the Imperium, lawman, but this is the Expanse. The mighty past sentences here. Do some recap and wipe down the captain's throne after you vacate it. I will be there shortly. The voice produces rusting laughter. We'll see if you're still feeling so insolent after my macro cannons make a few hole in your ship. Alright, let's get this done.
Launch torque!
Lord Captain, the body parting teams are ready to go. The Heartless Get Our Field generator is cooked, so no warp driving for them now, and we set off fireworks in the primary drive too. That rust bucket isn't going anywhere. We can bring the assault of the ship right away, but experience tells me this will go a lot smoother if we did with just a couple more precise strikes. How about we flatten a few heretics between the bulkheads and make fighting easier for you, Lord Captain? Your Lordship, I must remind you that the Heartless has been promised to you as spoils. Every new blow to the ship will also cost a blow to the Dynasty's treasury. Well, it's actually just beneath the entry point. We'll collapse the elevator shafts between the compartments and have the enemy without reinforcements. Yes, Lord Captain. The macro cannons fire several salvos busting through the hull. Fire rages in gaping wound. The current of the pressure air bursts forth into the void. An excellent shot, Lord Captain. And what about the repair, the costs? Perhaps you'll be willing to take satisfaction in what you've already achieved? Prepare to board. Solomon, are people ready? Ready and waiting. I'll see you on the upper deck of the Heartless, Rogue Trader.
Box down your throat next time. Yes, this area is clear.
As far as the movement, Solomon attracts your attention. I will lead Delta Xi. Squad along the lower deck, throughout the tight passageways, Prometheum pipework, and service areas where the enemy is most at home. We'll take out the difficult ground. Your squad, Rotator, will proceed along the upper deck. The objective is to reach the elevator. Rogue Trader, I request that you personally do not put yourself in the line of fire or take any unnecessary risks. We cannot afford to lose you. Once the deck sweep is complete, we'll rendezvous to regroup and launch the assault. Solomon puts 2 fingers to his ear, listening to his comm beat. Another arbitrator squad has been hit hard. Find a way to open the door for us, and there should be a concentrated control panel nearby. But first we will go down and get into position. We need to overwhelm the enemy with a surprise attack. I don't want you to die, Solomon, so be careful. Don't risk your life on my account. Pressing his jaw, his face impenetrable, Solomon says, if you encounter especially stubborn resistance, summon me. I will come to your aid. Will do. Solomon nods, relief written in his gaze. Why not all go together? We can overwhelm them with our numbers. No. We'll focus all the fire on us. Spitting up grants us tactical advantages, and you know this based on dozens of successful assaults. Let's move out. We get in trouble, cause immediately. Solomon taps his finger on his vox, turning to his squad. He sucks in a lungful of air and roars, Delta Psi Squad, formation A48. Go, go, go! Alright, before we continue, I want to go have a cigarette.
While perusing
So be
the
right
Lord
back.
Captain's library,
Okay, so I just looked at it, saw the time, and it's really late. And I'm getting very sleepy. But that said, though, this is a good place for us to stop because we're gonna jump into the Heartless, and it's gonna be a whole lot of shenanigans happening in here. But thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next stream. So from me to you guys, until then, peace out.